The Rio Grande Valley has seen lots of great architecture over its long history, but perhaps nothing as incredible and beautiful as an old convent built in the late 1800s. It housed Catholic nuns who helped educate Brownsville children for years. As Jean Fernandez explains, the only part of that great structure that remains is an impressive and historic grotto that tells a story of the Sisters of the Incarnate Word.
Brenda, we're here in front of the last vestige of a story that is beautiful as well as tragic. We're centering on the convent of 1867. Now let's go back into history a bit. At the time that Texas was developed, and we're going on into the period of the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, 1848, the Bishop of Texas of Galveston at that time sent a plea out to the church in order to get priests to start churches, as well as to get a teaching order. That teaching order was responded to by a group of nuns that were in France at the time, Lyon, France. And their names were the Sisters of the Incarnate Word of the Blessed Sacrament. These sisters took out from France in 1852 and landed in Galveston and then came immediately down here to Point Isabel, arriving in the beginning of the year. They were very, very bleak circumstances for them. They were brought to Brownsville, they settled into an old warehouse, and then at that point in time, the work was begun on a convent for them down in the center of the city. The work on that convent was completed in about 1852 December. They set up a school and they taught all of the area children. At that time, it was a very, very limited population, but they were a blessing for us in this area. Going up into the era of 1867, there was a terrible hurricane that took place, and the convent that was built for them in 1852 was demolished. Here you have the sisters in a pile of rubble, bricks at their feet, and they had no home. By the end of 1867, going on into 1868, a new convent was built for them, and that is the subject matter that we're dealing with today. This convent was an incredible structure. I saw that convent as a child. It looks like something out of a Walt Disney movie, with great columns and massive walls and grapevine arbors in the courtyard and the whole thing. So many years the sister tended to teaching our area children. It was a beloved structure. In 1962, that's when the downfall of that structure started taking place. In 1926, another center of the nuns' activities took place where we're standing on right now, and that was called Villa Maria. In 1962, the nuns moved from the old convent out here and then put the convent up for sale. In 1965, it was bought by the Brownsville Housing Authority. Furthermore, the tragic news was issued that the convent would be torn down. Now, that was not very well received by the people of the community. In 1968, a committee was formed in order to try to save the convent. They tried as much as they could, but it was in vain. By January of '69, the convent was demolished. The only portion of it that remains is right here behind me. And this is the Grotto that was built in 1867 and 68, going on into the old convent. The legacy of this structure and all that the sisters and the Catholic Church gave to this community is immense. The memories that we have in our mind about the old convent and the beautiful appearance of it will ever remain, and the rest is history. For KVEO News, I'm Eugene Fernandez.